In today's programme, we've got junk percussion, carnival percussion and rhythms from all over the world, plus ideas on composing your own.
I'm Spencer.
And I'm Hannah.
And these are the fantastic rhythms of Weapons of Sound.
Weapons of Sound is a junk percussion group. This means the instruments we use are junk. From gas piping to the kitchen sink, we use anything to bash out a rhythm.
Rhythm is the heart and soul of everything we do. We don't tend to use many lyrics and we don't use any real melodies, but what we do use are punchy, hard, driving rhythms and beats.
The first rhythm pattern we have to remember is the pulse, and that is started by Jen. The next rhythm pattern, which we're going to lay over the top, which is known as an ostinato, is going to be played by Hannah. And the third and final will be played by Mooks. And here it is. And when you lay them all together, this is what it sounds like.
You know, the other week, we asked everyone to get a rhythm that they would play. Yeah. Has everybody got one?
Yeah.
OK, so if we go for everyone's, listen to them. Ollie's rhythm pattern. We put together a song by, we start off with one small idea, no matter how small. It could be, and that's football, that's a football thing, dan dan da da dan da da dan da dan. Just one small thing, and everything. It's like a tree. It starts from a little seed, and then slowly it builds and it builds and it builds. So always start with a very simple idea. Don't try and think too complex to begin with, because the best songs in the world are all very simple.
The bass line would fit.
Try them one to start off with, and then bringing the other one in, rather than them both coming together, so you can see how they fit together. So you have one, then you have another one.
A couple of us will be just junking around. We'll be just jamming, and it will kind of happen kind of quite naturally. And then once we've kind of got this big kind of mess of a track, then we'll actually sort it out and say, well, you know, perhaps we should have a quiet start to this.
Start off with one person, and at the end they do one part, so the bum bum da 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 da, ba-dum da 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 da, bum bum da 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 da, ba-dum da 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 da, bum bum da 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 da. Yeah. So you get build, build, build. What we do is we start from that acorn, that small thing, we build it up, and we end up with sort of something that we start to think, yeah, this could be a song.
I like that. That makes me want to dance. But the thing that's missing, I think, is that my foot is going like that with the pulse of the song. And I think maybe the bassists need to do something to keep it going. What do you reckon?
Okay, I mean, we could keep with the pulse and it's just be like that, but it's a bit boring for us, isn't it? So when we could just play another tune, simplify theirs.
All right, you're not doing the pulse. I'll do the pulse on this, like, but so that it doesn't sound the same all the way through, I'll have some double time, and now and again, quadruple time. OK, ladies and gents, this song is a song, it's a new song, we haven't played it before. OK, are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. The way we structure songs is usually a verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. And the chorus, in most cases, what you'd call the chorus, is the most powerful bit. The bit where everyone can join in, or the bit where everyone dances more, or the bit where everyone sings back at you or claps or whatever. Everybody down! Bring it up! Bring it up now! Let me hear you now, let me back out. Good. Bring it up! Bring it up now! Let me hear
sound, if it's about one thing, it's about a bunch of people entertaining a crowd and trying to get them to dance. So it's got to be that pulse, it's got to be that beat. We've got to get people off their bottoms and dancing.
Hello, I'm Big George. I'm a bit of a composer, me. Yeah, all right. So that's one of my top tunes I use for TV. But less about me and more about music. I love music of all sorts, especially when it's heavy on the beat. Ain't just me who's rhythm crazy. People from all around the world have a passion for the beat. Drums have been around as long as we have, and all cultures seem to relate to their power. And even music, which doesn't strike you as being strong on rhythm, generally has an underlying beat. You just might not have noticed it. In classical music, there is still a pulse or a beat, which is dictated by the conductor. And the musicians and the audience do react to it, in their own small way. So they're not exactly letting rip with a beat, but it is still there. Whereas in pop music, where the beat is really strong and the rhythm is right up front, both the audience and the musicians really love it. For thousands of years, people have recognised the power of the beat. In some parts of the world, drums are used in ceremonies to send the participants into a trance-like state. Not that different from your average rave. Rave music. Now that's got a fast beat, and the speed of the beat does affect the way that you react to it. Now pop producers have been talking about the speed of the beat for years and years and years, and there's a way that you can calculate how many beats per minute, or BPM, there is in a song. Get yourself a stopwatch or use the second hand on your own watch and put 15 seconds on it. And then what you do is you count every beat of the music in that 15 seconds and then multiply it by 4. And that will get you a pretty accurate beats per minute of that song. Now, let's try a little experiment.
When the clock strikes 12, we'll cool off, then start rocking around the clock again. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Well, that was running at around about 94, 95 beats per minute. Rather laid back and relaxed. But have a gander at this next one and see if you can work out what the beats per minute are in this one. Watch is at the ready.
No time for hesitation through. No time to wallow in the mire. Try now, we could only lose. And our love become a funeral pyre.
Did you get it? That was a bit of 70s disco, which was running at 137 beats per minute. Why? Because a record producer way back then worked out that 137 was the perfect tempo to get people a moving and a grooving. And so 137 became known as the disco heaven. Well, that was then, but now, how fast can you go? techno, and rave music use computerised loops and drum samples and can have beats per minute from 200, 250, 300. So, next time you're listening to music, check out the beat and measure it, if you can.
My name is Sulu Menjai. I'm the percussion leader for a steel band called Ebony. Take it away, guys. For a steel band like ours, Carnival is the highlight of the year. It's a time when we can really show off. But there's a lot of practice and rehearsing to be fitted in first. Basically, the steel band is called a steel band because a majority, 99% of all the instruments in the band are made of steel. From your bass drum to your tenor pan. But for me, the most important section is the percussion section, better known as the engine room, because we provide the beat, the heartbeat, the pulse, and the driving force for the music to be laid on top of. So when we practice outside in the floats, we'll be in the middle, upstairs, so the sound will just travel down and everybody will be able to hear it. The beat of the music is kept by a man playing a cowbell or the drummer on the drum kit, because that's the heartbeat. When you arrange a counter tune, 1, 2, 3, 4, it'll be taken up by the cowbell. In turn, the drummer will keep the beat on his feet, and that whole driving force through the music is kept by those two instruments there. Keep everything all locked in together, you know, nice and tight. By keeping the rhythm tight, I mean it by keeping it locked in, by not slowing down, not speeding up, not slowing down, speeding up, slowing down, keeping it on the beat. In the percussion section, we have a whole range of instruments. Additional cowbells are cutting on top of the straight cowbell, so every instrument has its own pattern. When we're rehearsing, sometimes the percussion section would have their own special practice, and that's basically just for us to know exactly what we're playing, to stop at the same time, to come back in on the same time. We practice and practice and practice, you know. There's no sheet music, no, it's not written down. We learn it by ear, and the more we practice it, the more we're happy with it, the more right it sounds. Basically, Carnival is a massive street party. It's the biggest in Europe. And Carnival, I mean, for everybody, is cosmopolitan. You know, every colour, every nation, every race, every creed is there enjoying themselves, appreciating the West Indian culture. It came over from the West Indies, and that's what it is today. It's a massive street party, you know, no holds barred. Everyone's enjoying themselves. Steel bands going up and down the road, music at every corner. They're all different types of beats that people dance to. So, you know, with the calypso, you have a faster beat. People will be up and down, jumping real fast. You know, it will come down to, if you want to go to a reggae sound, you know, it's more groovy, more down-tempo, more cool. You know, garage, hip-hop house, you know, it's all lively stuff. You can go anywhere and just pick up a different beat if you want it, you know what I mean? And just listen to your soul, your reggae, your calypso, and it's just a big variety. It's a massive party.
The heartbeat of any music is the beat or pulse itself, which drives the music and keeps it in time. Once you've got your pulse sorted, you can layer up simple rhythm patterns over the top. Use untuned percussion instruments or junk from your kitchen or garage at home. Keep your ostinati simple. You should be able to clap them or sound them out loud.
Boom, boom, ah, ah, boom, boom, ah, boom, boom.
And work out signals for when to start and stop. Some parts of your music can have a rich texture with several rhythm patterns layered up. Other parts can be simpler with featured solos. To remember your rhythms, create some percussion notation. Stick with 4 beats in a bar, shown by 4 small circles between each set of bar lines. Label up your instruments and colour them in according to the beats that they play. So if your pulse is kept by the bass drum, all 4 circles get filled in. And if the scratcher is playing quadruple time, you'll need to add some extra circles to show that 4 mini beats fit within just 1 beat of the bass drum pulse. Writing rhythms down is not essential. You can, of course, just remember them in your head. So get jamming.
In our samba band, we've got the repenique, which is the lead drum, which you hit. You've got the tamburims, which are basically tambourines without the bells, which you also hit. Then you've got the caixas, which are actually snare drums, which drive the band, along with the ganzas, which also drive the band, which you shake. Then you've got the surdos, which actually provide the pulse, which are also the largest instruments. Then you've got the agogo bells, which actually provide it with a bit of a spice.
Playing the surdo is by far the most important job in the samba band, because the surdos keep the pulse, and if they're wrong, then everybody's goes wrong. One way of learning the rhythms is by saying them out loud using sounds that sound like the instruments themselves. We usually start with the surdos, and then the other rhythms are layered on top.
Gong, 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 gong.
There's a question and answer in the first section, where the tamburims and the agogo bells have a sort of little conversation. The same phrases repeated over and over again, which sounds a bit like an argument. It's like they're both desperately trying to get their point across. It looks like they're shoving each other out the way.
The Royal Albert Hall was actually one of the biggest gigs we ever did on our life. I was really aware that we were going to be playing on the same stage as Eric Clapton had once played and Elton John had once played, and also Counting Crows had played there before. So it was a really good achievement.
Wow, basically.